kitchens can be as basic as absolutely necessary, but I mean, look, you always need a sink, you always need a refrigerator, you need a stove. What kind of stove you get, that's really up to you. What kind of refrigerator you get, kind of that's kind of tailor-made to the person themselves. Here at IKEA, there's a wide variety of it. So when we were doing the show, we could really, really dial in what was the exact kind of stove that somebody would need. What is the exact oven somebody needs? Do you need a microwave, and where should we put it? And is it a stacking microwave, or is it a standalone microwave? Is it what kind of refrigerator? Is it double doors? Is the freezer down below? The appliances are important, but then from there's so much variety for kind of which ones work for you. I say it so much on the show, I almost think that that's my job, is to talk about counter space. But, people ask me, like, what do you do on the show? I'm like, well, I pretty much, I destroy things with sledgehammers, and I demand counter space. That's pretty much sums up what I do. Because counter space is so important. The ability to work in comfort in your kitchen is super key. And that's why, I love some of these, like, under the overhead cabinetry, the underhead cabinetry. So a lot of space-saving stuff here, like also in the marketplace, like a lot of the magnetic stuff that you put on the walls for like spices and stuff like that. A lot of great space-saving techniques. I guess I've never been to Sweden, but I guess that there's that they have space issues because so much stuff in the kitchens here are designed to kind of save space and to make room for you to do everything that you want to do in as limited a space as you have. I try to follow Nicole's lead. At the end of the day, Nicole, this is what Nicole does for a living. She redesigns, she designs people's houses, and she does an amazing job of it. And she has a great understanding of function and form and aesthetic. So I really do follow her lead. She's got a great understanding of it. And for me, it's just about making sure that the details are dialed in, that we're not just making it look pretty and just making it fit, but making it fit in such a way that somebody can really maximize their efficiency in the cooking, which is the one thing that's hard for a designer ever to understand is kind of like the process, like knowing that you want this much counter space next to your ovens as opposed to next to your refrigerator because these people bake a lot, so they're carrying a lot of eggs. Little things like that as a chef, I have an insight to how those things work. But the collaboration is great. She's a fantastic person to collaborate with. She's open ears, and she's a very intelligent, sweet woman. But that's, I follow her lead and then try to fill in the blanks as best I can as far as, what you would need to do from a professional cooking point of view. And what's fun, like, as we progressed through the show, I got to see a lot more stuff that I'm a lot like, like a home viewer who thinks of IKEA as, for the most part, as like, futons and shelving. And it's so much more than that. And as you kind of get into what goes on here, I didn't know that they had appliances in kitchens like that. So I figured they did, or they wouldn't be making a show. I figured that out myself. I'm really smart. But beyond that whole marketplace section where they've got all the different utensils and like things like that tagine and induction burners and real neat, cutting edge, professional stuff in the marketplace was exciting. And then to find, I always knew they had meatballs. Fat guys know where to find their meatballs. But to know that they had a kind of that full array of Swedish ingredients to play with was a lot of fun. So kind of like the more, I remember the first time I went in after the first episode and I went in and saw all of that stuff was kind of when I was like, ooh, next time I make a sandwich, I'm going to play with the lingonberry preserves, you know what I mean? So yeah, I was actually quite impressed. So shout out to Synergistic.